Shawnee, aka Total Makeup Junkie 101. So today I have a video that I have been requested to do for so long now, and this is my eyebrow routine. I will be perfectly honest, I have been requested this video for years now, and I never thought I would ever really do it, only because everybody's eyebrows are so different, and what I do for my brows may or may not actually work for you. So because I wasn't sure it was going to be a helpful enough video for you, I decided to put it off and put it off and put it off. But lately, I have really fallen back in love with my eyebrows. Brows have just been such a big thing in the media, and everybody seems to focus on eyebrows. And achieving that perfect eyebrow is something that everybody wants to get, especially right now. I am someone, and have always been someone, who has someone else do my eyebrows. I can never get my eyebrows to look the way I want. And trust me, I have definitely tried. Years ago, I used to only be the one to touch my eyebrows, and I noticed over time they were thinning out so much, and honestly, I don't know that much about brows, so please take this video with a grain of salt. I am by no means an eyebrow expert. I don't know that much about eyebrows. I only know what works for me. Now, the main reason I wanted to do this video, and why I feel like it's going to be something different than an eyebrow routine you have ever seen, is because I'm going to make this a very informative based video on how to find your perfect eyebrow stylist. I will tell you up front that this is not going to be a video for someone who wants to learn how to do their own eyebrows at home. I wanted to show you guys how I honestly do my brows, and the truth of the matter is, I don't. And I want to give you guys the tips and the tricks that I have learned from going to many different eyebrow stylists. One in particular, who is the lady that I go to right now. Her name is Anik, and she is an absolute angel that has dropped from the heavens. I have been going to Anik for around 8 months now, and I have been going to her exclusively. Not a single other person has touched my eyebrows in the past 8 months, and that is myself included. Anik was generous enough to let me bring my camera in and film as she does my eyebrows. So I'm actually going to go ahead and show you guys exactly where I get my eyebrows done. You guys will see Anik and exactly how she does my brows. And just a little bit of background about Anik. She owns her own salon, which is called Pamper Parlour. It's in Glendale, California, which is on the outskirts of the LA area. She has been doing brows for decades. And I mean, she is such a professional at it. She is incredibly well versed in brows. Now, just to put some disclaimers out there, please know that this is not by any means a sponsored video. I honestly found Anik and the Pamper Parlour completely by chance, by my own research. No one approached me to do anything. I'm not even getting paid for this video. I genuinely love Anik's salon, and I go there, and I have gone there for months, and I don't see myself honestly ever going anywhere else. So if you guys are in the LA area, please go check out Anik's salon. It's amazing. She is such a sweetheart, and she does brows like I have never seen brows being done before. So after that long-winded explanation and introduction, I'm gonna go ahead and get into the footage that I filmed while Anik was actually doing my brows. I'm going to do a full walkthrough of Pamper Parlour so you guys can actually see the salon, and then I will go ahead and show you guys how Anik actually does my brows. Hey guys, and welcome to my no makeup face. If you guys follow me on Snapchat, you guys probably know me more so as being this than you do with makeup on. Either way, I'm about to head into Pamper Parlour and have Anik get started on my eyebrows, but I did want to show you guys a before shot of my brows. I have not gotten them done in about 7 weeks, which is probably the longest I've ever gone, and you can see they look really grown out. So let's go in and have Anik get started on these bushes. So here's what the outside of the Pamper Parlour looks like. How cute is that? It's got a 50s theme to it. So you guys will see all the way through the salon. Is absolutely adorable. When we get in, this is the overall layout. It's got the cutest little paintings. I just love the color scheme. I love everything about this salon. We'll go ahead and take a walk into the eyebrow room. There's Anik. Say hi, Anik. She's the eyebrow genius. And then this is your eyebrow room. It's a little personal room. Anik will take you in here, sit you down on this little chair, and do your brows. So Anik is starting off my eyebrows by going in with an eyebrow comb, combing my eyebrow hair up and just trimming it off with some scissors. Then she's going in with some tweezers and just tweezing the correct shape of my brow. You guys are gonna have to pardon this incredibly flattering camera angle. I know the camera angles in this video are just so uber cute. Anik is then going in with thread and just threading off any of the additional stray hairs that she couldn't get with the tweezers. She's then finishing the job by putting on some witch hazel and some antibiotic to that area to keep the skin clean. So Anik just completed my eyebrows and I am feeling so much more like myself with brows that are a little bit more tamed. I'll go ahead and zoom in so you guys can kind of see how they look. And they look much cleaner and much better than they did before, I will say that. So now we're gonna go ahead and head home and I will show you guys how I fill in my eyebrows and maintain them and make them look all presentable. So let's go ahead and start off with combing through my brows using a spoolie. I'm just using one side of my Anastasia Brow Wiz. I'm going in with my Anastasia Brow Wiz pencil. This is in the shade Ebony, and go ahead and carve out my brow shape. Now in terms of the top part of my brows, I don't always do this, but sometimes I like to thicken it up by drawing a really precise line across the top portion of my brow. Where I definitely need the most help is that I need to elongate the ends of my brows because I don't have any brow hair that grows in that area. Then once more, I'm going to go in and comb out my brows with my spoolie. Then I'm going to go ahead and take a little brush into a kind of yellow toned concealer type product. And with this incredibly precise brush, I'm using it to just outline and draw around my eyebrow. This is going to make my eyebrow look as clean as possible, and it's definitely going to add a nice highlight and a pop for your brow. And then of course use a bigger shader brush to just kind of blend that concealer product out to get a nice blend in with your foundation. And the last step is to go through your brows with a little bit of clear brow gel. So I hope all of that footage and that demo of exactly how my brows are being done, as well as how I come home and fill them in, I hope that was all helpful to you guys. Please keep in mind that I'm doing this video to be as informative as possible, and this is just how I do my brows. There is no right or wrong way to do brows. You do them how you feel comfortable in them, because after all, they are on your face. Now I'm gonna go ahead and talk about some tips and tricks to find your perfect eyebrow stylist. And these are tips coming from a girl who has gotten her eyebrows done for probably about 7 or 8 years now. The first tip I wanna share is that word of mouth is everything. If you have friends or family that live in your area that also get their eyebrows done and they have had a positive experience at their salon, definitely go there. Unfortunately for me, when I moved to LA, I didn't have any friends or family members here that had a great salon that they could recommend, so I had to do my own internet digging for that. But I would say start with word of mouth. Now, if you were like me and you don't have any friends or family that can recommend a salon for you to go ahead and do some internet digging. Do a Yelp search, do a Google search, find some salons that are in your area, and definitely don't feel limited to only go somewhere that only has positive reviews. Sometimes you kind of have to dig through salons that maybe doesn't have a lot of reviews, but as long as the vast majority of the people that have gone have been happy, I think you're probably pretty safe. Another tip I want to give you guys is to not limit yourself strictly to established businesses or to a salon. Take it from someone who knows and who has been there. Some of the best eyebrow stylists are people who work out of their house. And this is another place where that whole word of mouth thing really comes into play, because a lot of times the eyebrow stylist may not have an actual company or an actual salon to themselves. They may just be working out of their house. But if you know someone who knows someone who knows this eyebrow stylist and knows that they're good, I would definitely give them a shot. Now, with that being said, please be your own main judge of character. Obviously, I'm not telling you guys to walk into a situation that seems very sketchy, but as long as it seems like it is on the up and up, use your judgment on that. I think you'll be okay. Another tip I have, which I think is very, very important, is to not just go to a salon, but to actually go to a specific person. This is something that I learned over the years, and to be honest, I learned it the hard way. Years ago, I used to be absolutely obsessed with this one salon that would have about 3 or 4 eyebrow stylists working there, and you would just walk in, you put your name on a little list, and as soon as the eyebrow stylists are done with the person in their chair, they just rotate through. And basically, it was just kind of like a luck of the draw, whether or not you got a good eyebrow stylist or a really bad one. Every single person, every eyebrow stylist, no matter how good or bad they are at actually doing brows, has a different vision and a different depiction of the eyebrows that should be on your face. I can walk into a salon with an idea of what I want my brows to look like, but at the end of the day, I'm leaving it in the hands of my eyebrow stylist. And she just basically will do what she thinks looks best. And of course, what one person thinks looks good on you is going to be different from the person next to them. So over time, as I was going to so many different people and different eyebrow stylists, even though I was going to the same salon, my eyebrows started to completely lose their shape. They started to completely thin out. And this was because one lady would kind of arch them. The next lady would round them out. Then when I went back, again, they would be arched. So in order to do that, you would have to thin it out. And then again, it would go back to being round. And over time, the shape was gone. Another tip I want to give, which is something I didn't know, but Anik actually told it to me, and it completely makes sense after she told it to me, is that in my head, I always thought that threading was the best way to get your eyebrows done. I don't do wax. I have waxed my brows in the past, years ago, but I always thought to get a very clean, precise shape, you had to go with the threading method. What Anik told me, which completely makes sense, is that threading is just a cleanup job. With threading, you cannot get very, very precise shaped brows. Threading is not shaping. If you wanted to get a proper shape on your brows, you would have to do the technique that Anik does, where she goes in with tweezers first and carves out a shape of the brow, and then she goes in with thread to basically clean up all of the edges. It's the best way to get a good shape on your brows without thinning them out. I noticed every time I was going to just get my eyebrows threaded, they were getting thinner and thinner and thinner. And that's because in order to get a really clean, precise line every time, they would have to keep thinning out my brows. So make sure you are going to a place that actually shapes brows and doesn't just thread them or wax them. A couple of tips that I feel like are pretty obvious, but I wanted to throw in and say anyways, because I know especially for someone who's younger, you may think this is normal and it isn't. But make sure you are very comfortable with your eyebrow stylist. Don't go in and feel like you have to look perfect or be perfect or present yourself as being perfect, or if they are doing your brows differently than you wanted, and if you're giving them some direction and they are just completely ignoring you and doing whatever they feel like they want to do, go to someone else. At the end of the day, you are putting your brows in the hands of another person. And while I know that's not as dramatic as putting your life in the hands of someone else, it still is a big deal because your brows can basically make or break the shape of your face. I have definitely gone to eyebrow stylists in the past that have made me look like I am angry because they arch them too much, or that make me look sad because they round them off too much. You just want to go to someone you feel comfortable with and someone who you're always happy with the end result. Another seemingly obvious one, which I still want to say, is that make sure the place you are going to is hygienic. Because you are dealing with your skin, and because a lot of us do have skin issues like acne or rosacea, make sure you are going to a place that takes their sanitation very seriously. And then the last tip I want to give you guys is don't think that if you are paying more to get your eyebrows done, that the person is necessarily going to do a better job. I moved to LA from a relatively smaller city, and I have lived in slightly smaller cities my entire life. So I did not realize how expensive eyebrow shaping and eyebrow threading could get. I was never used to paying more than $7 to get my eyebrows done. And once I came to the LA area, the average to get your eyebrows done in LA is around $25. And just to give you guys a little bit of a price comparison, if you wanted to have Anastasia from Anastasia Beverly Hills do your eyebrows in her salon in Beverly Hills, it's $50. Ain't nobody got that kind of money. For eyebrow shaping or threading or waxing or whatever, at the end of the day, you are strictly paying for the labor. It costs cents, pennies, maybe not even a whole penny for the amount of thread that is used to do your brows. You are not paying for the materials, you are not paying for the thread. What you are paying for is the labor. At the end of the day, price is very subjective, and different eyebrow stylists will charge according to what they feel they deserve, but that does not mean that a more expensive person is necessarily going to do a better job. Now, those are all of my tips and tricks that I can share with you guys, and this is coming from someone who has personally done it, someone who has dealt with many different eyebrow stylists, many different salons in many different cities. And at the end of the day, I have never found someone that I feel more comfortable with and someone who does a better job at doing my brows than Anik. That is honestly the main reason why I wanted to do this video, because I wanted to promote her and her business. And she is such an amazing businesswoman and her skills are through the roof. And I think if you guys are in the LA area, I will go ahead and put all of the information on Pamper Parlour down in the description box below. And if you guys don't believe me, I will go ahead and also put a link to their Yelp reviews so you guys can see it's not just me who's in love with her work. So many people absolutely love her. And a couple of other little tidbits I wanted to mention about Pamper Parlour is that Anik is the only person who does eyebrows in that salon. So if you make an appointment to get your eyebrows done at Pamper Parlour, Anik will be the one doing them. The cost to get your eyebrows done there is $15, and I would highly recommend that you guys schedule an appointment a couple of days before you decide to go in. I don't know if she does walk-ins, but I would just highly recommend getting an appointment appointment. I always schedule my appointment a couple of days in advance. That way she knows and I know that my eyebrows will definitely be done. So that is pretty much everything. I hope this video was helpful to you guys. And I know even though the vast majority of you guys are not in the LA area, I hope it was still a helpful tips and tricks video to find your perfect eyebrow stylist. As I said, all of the information on Pamper Parlour and Anik will be written in the description box down below. Thank you guys so much for watching and supporting and subscribing, and I will catch you guys in my next video on Monday. I will see you then. Bye. Most buzz and their most hype and their most praise is on the formula. This is probably still to this day one of the most coveted Urban Decay